unconditional positive regard for the person whom we are going to counsel. Unconditional positive regard and acceptance. That's the first requirement. Second requirement is the person who's counseling has to be congruent. What is this congruence? In fact, I mean, in Sanskrit, the word is referred as Arjava. Arjava is basically you have your thought, your word, and action. They all have to be aligned. These are to be in a laser kind of line. There should not be any deviation. What we think, we should speak, and what we speak, we should do. If this is our personality, listening will be absolutely easy. We can be a very good counselor. That congruence is a requirement in a counselor. Say a very small child, he is coming, he is crying, and he is coming in. So at that time, the the child is in some situation. The father is asking, what's happening? Why are you crying like a child, girl? Why? What happened? That's what the father is asking. So, and then the child describes, yes, somebody has taken away his pet pencil, a small pencil that he holds it as very, very dear to him. Somebody has, some bully has taken it away. So he's very feeling wronged. He is violated. He is very angry. He is very unhappy. He is coming in. At that time, father says, oh, why are you crying like a girl? What is this? After all, a small pencil. Okay, how many pencils do you want? There are so many at home. I can always give you. Shut up and go start playing. That's what the father's reaction is. Then, after all, I mean, a grandmother is in the house. The grandmother looks at the boy. She sits down to the level of the child. She meets eye to eye to that child and asks, what's the problem? Emaindi. What? Then she changes her tone and then tries to match up with the child's feeling level and then asks, what is the issue? And then the child says, Rahul, that big boy, what he did when I was leaving? He just pulled out my pencil box and took away my favorite pencil. You know that one, the yellow color one? He just took it away. How bad he is, and all he's just complaining. The grandmother looks at the child lovingly, then holds him and then says, okay, yeah, I understand. How bad? Okay, I'll do one thing. Tomorrow I'll come with you to school. I'll tell the teacher what a bad bully he is. Chi, 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 chi. Very, very bad. And she joins him with his emotion. Then she is also, joining the emotion of having been wronged, violated, and then holds him, hugs him. Okay, as of now, go play. I'll definitely come tomorrow to your school to complain. Now you go and play. Okay, and then the situation changes. It's a small, in fact, when I do the training, I do actually play acting. The reason why we do this is we do not often connect to the same level as the person who is speaking. All of us are in different ego states, the adult ego state, the parent ego state, and the child ego state. We just keep shifting between these three levels. Either we are at a parent level, or at an adult level, or a child level. We may be at any different state, but when we want to be really, attentive to someone, we have to try and tune into that person's ego state. Let's say somebody is complaining about the roads in Hyderabad, what kind of road these are, terrible and all that. So I will also join, yeah, too bad and all that. So it's a very nice transaction. Both are at the same level, complain, and then the transaction is trashed. So then let's say I'm at a child level. I'm a very playful person. I'm I mean, I just see a situation when there is some joking around and all that. I also joke around and all that. We are at a child level. The transaction gets transacted. It's everything is going fine. But these are not very useful transactions unless both are at the same adult level. Most of you may have heard this. So we need to go and tune ourselves to the ego state of the person whom we want to listen to. This takes a little bit of effort from the person who wants to listen. Listening is, I mean, in my opinion, listening is a big favor that we do to someone. If ever we love, it has to be a labor of love, nothing else. So there are a few things that why we are not able to listen or why we don't want to listen. Second thing, the third thing is empathy. Empathy is, and we are going to talk about this. The grandmother brought in empathy here, whereas the father was wanting to solve the problem. He was also, that again was a, act of love only, but he was looking at it as a problem solving, whereas the grandmother was trying to connect to the child and then address, because that is only when we are able to connect to the other person at the same ego level as also at the same emotional level, we will be able to have anything meaningful going on. So that's, the grandmother was very easy. I mean, she was able to understand and she was able to do it so easily. There it is empathy. Whereas in the case of a father, it was problem solving. Basically, what he goes about saying is, if you have that setting, when you provide that kind of an environment for the counselee or the person having a problem, you provide this environment, you be available as a congruent person, willing to listen with the empathy, the person opens up and his own intellect rises to the level of solution and solution happens. Actually, nobody else can solve somebody's problem. They alone can solve. The reason why counseling is effective is one is able to see solutions are also there in them. They are not able to see it because they are very clouded in their thinking. So all that as a counselor one does is to dispel the clouds. Once the clouds all move away, they are able to come to a level of clarity and they will be able to think about solutions, and we can be available as a person available for brainstorming some possible solution scenarios and stuff like that. That's exactly what we do as counselors, because a counselor, no, I may be talking to someone who is having a major financial problem. I won't understand great things about finance. Somebody may be having in a difficult situations in a village situation. We don't understand all that. Basically, all that we do is provide empathy, listen to them, and when they go about explaining, they themselves get clearer and clearer. This listening is a fantastic requirement or an absolute requirement when it comes to relationships. So all that we do in a counseling setting also is we build a relationship with a person who has come to be counseled. The counselor and the counselee, when the relationship, when there is no, assumptions and stuff like that, automatically the relationship is established and the rest of the things are automatic actually. Automatic. This is what I have experienced last 22 years. I have been very fortunate to be counseling to a number of people actually.